All right, I am back. So I am hoping that you can hear me this time. Hi, everyone. This is Joan T. Randall. Welcome to another episode of the Victorious UTV. And I'm just trying to see if we can get some sound. I do apologize that you guys were not able to hear me before. We had some technical difficulties, so we had to literally disconnect and go back into the BeLive system in order to get the sound, get the volume. So thank you for those of you that were on before and have decided to join me again. I so appreciate you, and thank you for letting me know that there was no volume. I hear you. Yay, Martha. Thank you so much. Hi, Moya. How are you, darling? Good to see you. So I'm excited to have you on. So I'm just hoping that some of the others who, thank you so much, darling, some of the others who had to drop off because there was no volume, it is just so crazy. I don't understand that, but it is what it is. And we are going to move on. So again, I just wanted to say thank you for joining me on another episode of the Victorious UTV. I am your host, Joan T. Randall, and I am a speaker. Yay, Maxine, thank you. I'm a speaker, author, coach, and I am the president of Joan T. Randall Enterprise and the founder of the Victorious U movement. And if you were on last week, I need to now say award-winning best-selling author. So that's a blessing. I'm super excited to be an award-winning author. When your peers and other authors and publishers can nominate you and then you get selected out of hundreds of authors and, you know, in your category and you win, it is just absolutely amazing. And listen, I don't take any of this lightly. It is not just me, but it's the God that lives in me that gives me the opportunity to take risks and do things that I think of, that I dream of, and I always go after them. So sometimes it doesn't always work out to my benefit, but that's okay. I never think of failure as failure. I always think as failure as a way to start over or a way to edit and a way to come back and make some changes and do it again. So for me, there's no such thing as failure. It's only a hurdle that I get to cross and just redo it again. So that's what I call it. So last week, I want to just thank you for all of those who tuned in last week to see the interview with my oldest daughter and I. It got a lot of hits, over 1,100 views, which was pretty impressive. And I got a lot of people in my inbox that just, you know, said, I didn't know this is what you were going through. Your daughter is so eloquent when she speaks. So thank you so much for all of the feedback. It is important that we continue to talk about domestic violence, and not only just domestic violence when it comes on to the adult, but also to the children, because so often people stay in domestic violence situations because they say they want to stay for their kids, but sometimes the damage that it has on children, especially when they're young, is lasting. So, you know, as parents, we have to be careful of what is it that our children are coming home to every single day. Hi, Lori. How are you? Nice to see you. So I just want to take a few minutes and say hello to everyone that joined me. My darling Moya is on. Great to see you, Moyan. Martha Lowe, thank you for joining. My sister Maxine, thank you for being here. And Lori Smith with the famous Rock Her Tea Company is here. And I'm just so happy to see you guys. Congratulations for all of those who got a copy of my book last week. I did a challenge on our last broadcast, and I said if you watch to the end and you type the word gift, that I will send a gift to the first 5 viewers. Well, hi, Charlene. How are you? Well, instead of sending 5, I sent 10. So 10 people got a copy of my 3rd book that I wrote, which is called Loving Me from A to Z. It's a book of affirmation. It's workbook. And then, hi, Timothy. Great to see you. And it has a coloring option in the back. So congratulations to the 10 people that received a copy of that book last week. I always believe that when you get, you give. and that when you are blessed, you have to turn around and be a blessing. Helen Jarrett, oh my God, my childhood friend from way back. How are you, my sister? It's so great to see you. And so again, as I said, when you get, you give. And when you're blessed, it's important for you to turn around and be a blessing. And it's the same way as serving, right? No matter where you are in life, it is very, very important for you to serve and give back. And I love to do those things. So every week we always have Mr. Randall on. Well, today Mr. Randall was a little bit late coming home from work. So I am solo right now, but I'm sure Mr. Randall will pop in as soon as he come home this evening. So please know that Mr. Randall is still a part of this, the Victorious You TV. Big announcement. Hey, Sister Clary, how are you? Big announcement. I am super excited to share with you all that the Victorious You Conference is alive. Hey, Karen, how are you? So I'm happy because this is my third attempt at doing this conference. I tried to do this conference in 2016 in Jamaica. It never worked out. I tried to do it last year. I got really ill and was really bad. So I had to heal and recuperate. Well, this year, it is on and popping. When I tell you the Victorious You Conference, you are not going to want to miss it. The lineup of speakers are incredible. I have all my speakers already lined up. My keynote speaker is none other than Jacinda Jacobs, who is a radio and TV host here in Charlotte. She writes the book called Uniquely Qualified, and she's CEO and founder of Stolen Lunches. It's a Bible study. This lady is phenomenal, and she will be my keynote speaker for the conference. I am so excited also to be bringing to you an R&B artist as a part of the entertainment for the VIP day. She is amazing. And so I am so excited. I put a post on Facebook today that says, it is my season. And it is. You know when God is blessing you, and you know when things are happening. And I'm so happy that I say yes to God, right? That's the most important thing. I said yes to God. And all the things that God put in front of me, I say, Father, I'm going to do it. If you tell me I can, I'm going to trust you that I can. I'm going to stand on your word, and I'm going to make it happen. And so I am just excited about the things that God is doing in my life. And so I can't wait for you guys to, so here's the thing. If you want to see more about the conference, I'm going to post it on here. And let me do it right now. It's going to be, if you want to come or just take a look at it, it's bit.ly and it's Victorious Conference. So that's the link. Victorious Con F-E-R-E-N-C-E. So it's bit.ly Victorious Conference is what it's going to be. So bit.ly/Victorious Conference is the link. It is on the screen. It's going to keep running. And so if you just click on that, or go to my Facebook page, go to my personal page, my business page, or my group page, and you'll be able to see it. I've posted it there. I've even posted it on LinkedIn, and I've posted it on Instagram. So it's everywhere. You can just go and take a look at it. Click on the link and just see the lineup. So you see what is happening and what we're offering. And it's a 2-day conference. Friday is the VIP day. It's a very special day. We only have space for 30 participants. And then Saturday is the general conference day. So we're looking to really change some lives. Listen, my life was changed. Hi, Van. My life was changed because of, certain things that happened in my life. And I realized that this is not it, right? Every day I got up, it was the same mundane. It was the same thing over and over again. And there was this pulling in my heart, in my spirit, that God had more for me. And when I stepped out and when I started to change my mindset, how I think about relationships, how I think about life, how I think about love, how I think about money, how I think about health and wellness, how I think about finances. All of that plays a role in what you think you can do and what you know you can do. And so it's the power of the mind in every instance that leads to success. And I want to show you how to go from stuck to success. I want to show you the 5 simple steps that I implemented in my life that got me from being broken, beaten, homeless to this place in my life. And if I can do it, any one of you can do it. So I'm invite you to join me for my conference, October 5th and 6th. Without further ado, I want to bring to you my daughter, my baby girl, my youngest, and of our family. She is the middle child. No other than my daughter, Shayana Oakley. And she's just going to roll it.
How do you do?
She's just going to roll in. She is just going to roll in.
Hi.
So let me just turn the thing so that you can see her. Come on, closer. There we go. So,
Hey,
yay, say hi to the people, Shay. Hi to the people.
What's up, people?
So I wanted to talk to you today about, make sure you're on screen. There you go. Yeah, because I want everybody to see you. So today I wanted to talk to my daughter, Shay, but before I ask her some questions, I want her to introduce herself to you.
Yes. Okay, I'm Shay. I'm 27 years old. I am a flight attendant, but I just had a little baby boy named Israel.
Okay.
He's 4 months old, so I am staying at home right now with him until I go back to work. I guess I'm the artsy child. I'm the one that's always painting or, doing acting and stuff like that. I'm the middle child, as they say. And anything else?
Cool.
Oh, yes, I went to the illustrious Hampton University. I love my HIU. Hey, Essence girl. Sorry.
That's fine.
Graduated 2013, and yeah, that's it.
All right. Awesome. We look like totally different heights.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to
I'm really tall, so I'm trying to.
She's
trying
tall,
to match
so
her
she's
height.
yeah.
Nah, it's not working out.
All right, it's good. Okay, all right. So I'm excited to have Shay here, and we really want to get into the conversation. So for the past, this is week 4 of Victorious You TV, and we've been talking about domestic violence and how it affects the family. Week 1 and week 2, I had my husband on, Bill, and we talked a lot about, what it means to be equal partners as opposed to power and control, which is what a domestic violence relationship is. Ooh, you just got a nice little.
Hey, thanks, Maxine.
So, and then last week I talked to my older daughter, and she saw more of what we went through because she was older. They're 6.5 years apart, so Kay was older. But I really wanted to talk to Shay because Shay was younger, and although she did not see a lot of it, there was things that affected her as she was growing up. So I'm going to turn it over to Shay, and I'm just going to ask, my first question for Shay is, where is it? Okay. So you were young when things were happening between your dad and I. And so do you have any recollection of what may have happened or anything that you remember?
Yeah, I was very young, so most of it I don't remember, but there's 2 situations that really stand out to me that I remember vividly. The first one was actually a violent situation. I remember just jumping on the bed, and I remember you and my dad talking in the bathroom, and then I'm just jumping on the bed playing, and then all of a sudden I remember him punching you, and he literally punched you, and I remember you spinning around, and then I think you hit the bathroom tubs, the little sill of the tub. So that, I don't know if I cried after that. I don't remember how that went. All I know is I remember seeing him hitting you and you fell in the bathroom. And that's just it's been like a clear picture in my head ever since then. And then the second thing that I remember really well is actually with my sister, Kay. Shout out to Katie. Love you, girl. My sister, I remember me and her were playing, and I love my sister, but she wasn't the biggest fan of me when I was a child. So I was like, oh my gosh, my sister wants to play with me. Like, this is great. So I was so happy that she wanted to play with me. And then my dad, he comes and gets me and tells me I have to go downstairs with him and watch the O.J. Simpson trial. Like, first of all, I don't even understand what's happening. I'm like 3 years old. Like, I want to play with my sister. But he told me not to play with her, and he wanted me to sit downstairs with him and watch the trial.
Yeah. So, yeah, so those are some of the memories, some of the things that you remember. Come forward, baby. So some of the things that you remember. So I know that when we left, you were like 4.5 years old. And I remember we ran away. That's how we left. We ran away, 10 black trash bags in a car. And we drove in our pajamas from the house. And we went to a Howard Johnson motel about 10 miles from where, I don't know, I was just driving. I just drove until I saw a motel, and I went into the motel at like, I don't know, 2 a.m. in the morning. That's how we left. But as things happen and, you know, and life happens after that, what did that do to you leaving what you kind of remembered, you know, for the first 4.5 years of your life, and as you started to grow as a young lady going to, you know, elementary school and all of that, what did leaving you think did for you or did to you?
Honestly, I feel like, you know, growing up, I would see my friends with, you know, both their parents in the house, and I'd be like, oh, wow, you know, that's so nice to have a mom and a dad. And I think I tried not to let that affect me, but I think subconsciously it actually really was maybe bothering me. You know, I love my mom, of course, but, you know, I always wondered what it would be like to, you know, grow up with both my parents. And I guess, you know, I grew up seeing my mom was my dad. Like, my mom and my sister, they were the ones building furniture. Like, they were the ones who made me feel safe in the house. You know, things that you would think the man of the house would do. This is what my mom and my sister were doing. So I just grew up seeing very independent women, very strong women, you know, handle business. So I grew up the same way. I'm very independent, and, you know, sometimes even in my, you know, relationships or whatever, I have to remember, you know, that sometimes I don't have to be so strong all the time. It's okay to let somebody else maybe take the lead every now and then. So yeah,
that's a good point. I know that as you were, you know, you were growing up, you kind of, the older you got, you kind of heard a little bit more and more about what we kind of endured, you know, in the home with abuse from your dad, from your father. Do you want to like talk a little bit about that, or what you heard, and then how did that make you feel?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, as a child, I don't remember, you know, certain things that happened to maybe you or Kadeen, but, you know, growing up, I started hearing more, and then the older I'm getting, the more I'm actually able to understand and realize, wait, that's not the way you're supposed to treat somebody, you know? So I feel like my relationship with my dad kind of moved through phases. You know, I started out missing him. I remember Kadeen telling me that when we ran away, I said something like, I want to go home to my refrigerator. Like, I miss my refrigerator, because I don't know what's happening. I wanted my food. I wanted to eat. So, you know, at first I missed him, or I missed the house. And then that kind of transitioned to, I guess you could say, anger, because, you know, I'm growing up, I'm starting to hear these stories. I'm starting to maybe put 2 and 2 together, like, oh, that's what that meant, or that's why, you know, Kadeen said that, or you did that. And then that anger kind of made me hate him. It made me hate him a lot. And I remember one time calling my dad and he didn't answer the phone, but I left him a voicemail, and I cursed him out. I was mad, you did this, yada, yada, yada. You treated this person that way. You haven't been there for me. So, I released all that hatred, and we didn't talk for a long time. And then, after a few years, we were able to reconnect, and we actually developed a really good relationship. We would talk on the phone all the time, sometimes for a couple hours. He liked confiding in me about stuff. I liked listening to him. So we ended up having a good relationship. Right now it's kind of in limbo a little bit, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, so it went through phases.
So I'll be honest, I'll tell you this, that I never really wanted to, I tried not to say bad things about her father to her.
Yeah.
Things happened between he and I. My oldest daughter saw it and she understood it more. Shay was younger and he loved her. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt. So, it's one thing to endure abuse from your spouse, and it's another thing to not say to your child, he's a this or he's a that. You want your child to understand what he did was wrong, right? No woman should have to endure something like that. But you don't want to say to your child, you can't have a relationship with him. Yeah. So as Shay grew older, she wanted to connect with him. She wanted to find him. She wanted to talk to him, because remember, we left when she was almost 5. And for years, there was no connection. For years, there was no connection. So as she got older and got more matured, she wanted her father, because there was no guy filling that gap. And so she reached out and she was able to connect with him, and they developed a relationship. And I never stopped that. I didn't want to stop that. It was not my right to do that, or to call him names or to say bad things about him. So I definitely just kind of allowed her and him to build their own relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
What are your thoughts when you hear people say, I stay because of my kids? What does that do? What do you think about that?
I mean, I can understand wanting to stay for your kids. You feel as though that your kids need to have both their parents in the household. But honestly, I mean, it's one thing to have your parents in the household and them showing you love, and you see maybe some ups and downs with them, but at the end it's love. It's another thing to see your parent being hit or crying in the corner all the time, or have bruises on them, or so your kids need to see, they need stability, they need to see, they need balance, they need love in the house. And if you're staying in an abusive relationship for the kid, you're kind of defeating the purpose. You're not giving them anything. You're just staying just because you think that they need you to stay, but they really need you to be, good. They need you to be mentally stable,
right.
So yeah. And there's a lot of trust issues, it's tough. I know it's easier said than done, but I just feel like people need to seek help. If anything, reach out to somebody they can confide in, a website they can go to where they can be anonymous and maybe look for help. But I don't agree. I definitely don't agree in staying in an abusive relationship for the child.
Okay, that's good. Coming from a grown-up, right?
Yeah, I'm a grown-up, aren't I?
You look forward to it. So we talked about some of the things that can happen when you don't have a parent in your life,
Mm-hmm.
and growing up, and staying in an abusive relationship can really affect the children with long-term issues. Share some of the things that you think may even have had affected you just in your own personal life, just from not having your father in your life for such a long time, for, growing up and understanding that abuse was why, we had to run away. The difficulties we went through over years, until I was finally able to get back on track. And then, having the amazing Bill Randall in our lives.
Yeah, Pops.
As like the father figure. So share with us, what that can do to someone when you stay, or, as you're growing up, the effects it have on you, maybe psychologically?
There's so many things that it can affect. There's so many things that it subconsciously affects that you don't even realize that, and there's still things I'm learning about myself that's like, oh, I guess I think that way because of what happened to me growing up, or because of what I saw with my parents. I would say trust is probably number one. I'm a female, so, that can cause trust issues with men, me not thinking that, I don't know, they could hit me, or they could appear to be one way and then we get married and then they completely flip. There's so many trust issues that go into that. There's also this, like, the whole being independent thing. I think I developed this whole, almost like I don't want to say I don't need anyone, but that's subconsciously how I was kind of acting. I'm just so independent. I've seen my mom, she can do anything. She's done it all by herself. There's no reason I can't do it all by myself also. And, I've even remember an instance with Pops. I mean, I was going to work, so I have my luggage. I'm going on a trip, and I have my luggage in my hand, and I'm going down the steps with all these bags, and Pops is like, do you need any help? I'm like, oh, no, Pops, I got it. I'm like falling down the steps, like, yeah, I need some help. But because I'm so independent, I'm subconsciously like, no, I got it, Pops, don't worry, when I could have used, that help. Yeah. So it's just there's little things that, it puts into your head that you don't even realize affects how you act, how you, handle things.
Yeah. So I know that when we left and kind of went away, and there was a lot of things that we went through, but you kept a lot of things quiet. So from a perspective now, how do you feel now? Where are you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of that?
Well, I love God. Shout out to him. He's my man forever, homie, all day long. Yeah, I just, honestly, I have I put all my trust in God. I put my trust in God. I have faith in him. I know that whenever I have an issue, or, I feel some kind of way about something, I know I can turn to him and he'll give me strength and guidance. So, I've grown up a lot. I have a child now, so that's put a lot of things in perspective for me. It's helped me to really grow and mature and face some, fears that I may have had subconsciously again that I didn't know about. I'm sorry, what was the question again? Repeat
How do you
again.
feel now, emotionally, mentally?
Emotionally, I'm in a good place. I'm happy that I was able to have some type of relationship with my father after everything that has happened. I don't know, if a lot of kids in those situations even get the chance to move on to like a good place where they can have that relationship, with the abuser. But I'm thankful that I had that with my dad, even if it was short term, or, it won't happen again. I'm thankful for that little bit of peace, that piece of happiness that I had with my dad, and I'm thankful. I'm in a good spot. I'm proud of my mom. Got Pops. Pops is dope. I love him. Like, it's great. We're in a good place.
That's good. That's good. My friend Teresa said, I left my abusive marriage when my kids were all small. I didn't want my kids, especially my daughter, to think it was okay to let a man physically and emotionally abuse you. Yeah. I ran fast. I never looked back, and that's okay. Yeah. And listen, I hope this message gets out to share. I want you to share this message with people, because, I'm talking to my daughter, who she was young when we went through our abusive, when we went through our time, but she still remembers some of it. She still remembers some of it. And we want to make sure that as parents, that you're really thinking about the children. You can't continue to think about yourself. You have to think about the lasting impact that it will have on your children. And so I wanted to, and you get two different perspectives. Last week, the perspective from my older daughter was totally different from the perspective of Shay, because last week, Kay saw more than what Shay saw, and Shay was a baby. but she realized that, my family unit is 3 of us. So here she is as a young girl growing up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And it is mom and her sister and her.
Yeah.
And then right around age 14, then this handsome guy walked into our lives. He was like,
handsome, debonair man.
Right. And he just walked in and he swept her off her feet first. I think Pops connected with you first at Macy's, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're talking about Chuck's. Chuck Taylor's.
Right. And then, and so it was right around 15, Pops came into our lives. So just think about it. From 4.5 till 15, it was just us. 10 or 11 years. 11 years, the 3 of us. The 3 Musketeers, 11 years. Number one, I didn't want to bring a man into my home, knowing that I had daughters. And also, we had gone through our share of, oh my God, just bad stuff after we left, because leaving was one thing, but we ended up homeless. We ended up staying at different places. My children ended up, being sexually assaulted. The stuff that happened to us while I am trying to get on my feet. And I'll tell you, as a mother, knowing that it was my actions that resulted in some of that really, really took a toll on me, because it was my actions, what I did, the decisions I made, the choice I made that put my children in that situation. And so it's tough. It was a tough weight to carry around. And God knows, if it wasn't for faith and me knowing that, God kind of put me in those situations so that I can be the person I am today, I don't know how I would have been able to even overcome that stuff. Because it's one thing for you to go through your stuff, but when you find out that as you're trying to build your life, your children is going through stuff, that will take you out. And so I'm just blessed that, to see them now, to see Kay, she's married, she has her 3 children, and then to see Shay, and she's evolved and she has her son. And I am just blessed that although we are not perfect people, but we are okay. We're not, we don't have to be in mental institution, and it's okay if someone is watching and mentally can't deal with it, get help. I totally believe in getting help, going to a psychologist, talking to someone. Help is out there. Stop hiding from help. And mental health affects way more people than we think.
Yeah.
Because anxiety and depression, all of that is mental illness. And sometimes when you go through some things in life that is difficult to handle, you internalize things and then your mind just goes crazy. So I am just happy and I'm blessed to know that my kids, even after a life of abuse and the 10 years of suffering, oh my God, that we're here standing as a testimony.
Amen.
Right? As a testimony for people who may have gone through this stuff. You can overcome, just find the people that you can connect with. I personally kept myself free from relationships because I wanted to protect them. And the minute Katie went off to college and Shay was about to go to college, there comes Mr. Randall, and Mr. Randall ain't left. Mr. Randall stayed forever and then became their pops. And he filled that missing link for them both because, it's not easy to have one parent, although so many women are doing this. So I'm going to see if there are any questions or any comments. Again, thank you for joining, and let me know if you have any questions. Paula said, yes, it does. Don't be ashamed. Lady Essential, who is Shay's friend, said, as a young adult, it is hard finding that balance of being an independent woman and allowing a man to be a man without losing yourself as an individual. I totally understand that. Maxine, you ask a really great question. Did your ex ever apologize for his abuse? That is a very good question. So, yes, he did, right? He got ill, was hospitalized, had a really difficult recovery. And after the recovery, he called and said he was sorry. He told me that I was a good mother. He said that his heart and his head was always fighting against each other. And the one that was the one that was not as good was the one that always wins. He was always fighting an internal battle. He also told me that his mother never said the words, "I love you" to him. And so he grew up not hearing those words from his mother. His father died when he was very young. So I think he had issues just with women, just based on not feeling loved by his mother.
Yeah.
And I think I got the brunt of it. And trust me, I am not the only woman that has been abused by him. So, he has his thing that he has to, account to from God. But here's the thing. He apologized to me, right? And like a few years later, he took the apology back. Not to me this time. He told her that he didn't apologize, like whatever. So it's like mental issues there as well. So anyway, let me just see if there is anybody else. Okay. So guess who's here, guys? I'm going to just ask him to pop in and say hello because he showed up. Mr. Randall, you want to just say hello to the people on Facebook Live? He's here.
How's everyone?
Yes. My handsome guy.
Listening to my ladies here. Huh?
Yeah. Well, guys, that's about it for our show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Hoey, how are you? And we are going to wrap up. Just want to remind you guys that the Victorious You Conference, I'm going to try to put the link up there again. The Victorious You Conference is coming. It's October. Why is it saying hide? It is October 5th and 6th here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm trying to get this thing to work. Sometimes technology is amazing, but then sometimes it is not. Okay, I'm supposed to get this thing running somewhere on here on screen. Oh, there we go. All right, is not happening, but that's okay. That is okay. So it's bit.ly/Victorious Conference. Again, bit.ly/Victorious Conference. Thank you, Martha, for joining. Thank you for being here. Hope we said Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Yeah, it's every day, girl. It is every day. So again, don't forget October 5th and 6th. Call me, inbox me, follow me on social media. I'm everywhere as Joan T. Randall. Please know that all of these lives will be living on YouTube. So follow me on my YouTube channel, connect with me, and subscribe because we'll be putting all of the Victorious You TV episodes on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I am happy that you got an opportunity to kind of just see it raw from me with my husband, my daughter, my other daughter. Next week, tune in. Thank you, Paula. I do appreciate that. Next week, tune in because we're going to take it now from relationships to health and wellness. So next Monday, it's me and my girl, Shonda Keynes, vegan fitness chef.
Ooh, Shonda.
Owner of EBN's Vegan Cuisine. She'll be in my home. She'll be talking to you about shopping for clean eating, how to make a vegan meal, and then work out. Okay, so you should tune in for that. God bless you all. Thank you for being with me. I love you all. Have a great night, and we will see you next Monday, same time, same place. This is Joan T. Randall and our family signing off, saying God bless you. Take care. We out. Peace.